Well, hello, and happy Sunday to all of you wonderful people out there. I am your very dapper, very debonair host, Bobby Munson, and this is Point of View. Thank you for joining me here on a Sunday on OLE Podcast's YouTube channel, as well as on Twitch, and possibly my personal Twitch at VideoBro_Bobby Munson. Thank you for joining in. And I gotta say hello to a good friend of mine right there, Barry Monkey, always supporting the channel, always supporting everything we do. Barry, always appreciate having you here. Good evening, good early evening, I believe, to you. Good late afternoon, early evening, around that time there, my friend. And yes, Brian Carter's up in the house. Brian, let's go. It's Burning Crush time. We're going to be watching. Hey, it's Andre C. Hey, dude, how are you doing? You're going to be checking out an all-new Andre and Melbourne Japanese Wrestling update. If you didn't do so Friday from the live stream, it is available for replay now on the channel. Andre, how you doing, sir? Time to watch some Burning Crush from our friends over at Major League Wrestling. Barry saying 4 p.m. over and his area of the world. Thank you for joining in. Really appreciate that, Barry. And Brian and Andre, thank you for being here with me, guys, this Sunday as I'm firing up, getting ready here for Burning Crush. Hope you guys are all watching along. I'm going to hit that play button right now, and let's keep this conversation going about Major League Wrestling. I do know a few things that went down, of course, already, but that just comes with the nature of having things that are on pre-tape. Things get said, things get talked about. It's all good. But yeah, we are starting her off. Andre, just tired, just woke up. Oh, my friend. Tired's never good, but man, you should do like Ed and I next Saturday, the 24th there, the premium live event, Elimination Chamber. So we're not only getting up early to watch it, so it'll be 4 a.m. my time. That'd be like 3 a.m. your time. I mean, you should be used to it watching Japanese wrestling as it is, but yeah, we're going to be watching the premium live event, Elimination Chamber, and going live with a post show. And then I'm going to have to have an old man nap after that, because next Saturday is also Prairie Pro Wrestling presents Love is Dead live here in Saskatoon. So that's going to be going off. It's going to be hell of a time. Looking forward to seeing everybody. First time in 2024 for Prairie Pro Wrestling. And we just released the chairs match on Saturday. So the chairs match is now available. Prairie Pro Wrestling's YouTube channel. If you haven't checked it out, I'm just glad we didn't get like a community hit for that one, because there is some high level violence up on that particular episode of Prairie Pro Wrestling. Brian saying that he's so pissed. I have ringside seats for Azteca Lucha, but now can't go because I have a condo in Florida. Oh, man. Oh, no, Brian. Oh, dude, I'm sorry. I mean, not sorry about you having a condo in Florida. That's pretty kick ass. But the fact that it has to land on that same week. You win some, you lose some, right? But well, you go watch. Here's the crazy part is, I bet you Azteca Lucha is going to be one hell of a show now too. Barry saying love is dead, ? You cynical bastards was only Valentine's the other day. Hey, we ran this much closer to Valentine's last time. So this is actually the second annual Love is Dead for Prairie Pro Wrestling. And it's gonna be sweet. Like, we've got the heavyweight championships on the line. Sheik Akbar Shabazz taking on Colton Kelly finally. That's gonna be a hell of a match. And yeah, it's gonna be great. Brian saying the chairs match was awesome. I love that the Mexican Devil cannot be stopped. The only one that can get in his way is himself sometimes. That is the best way to describe El Asesino. He is a crazy man. So yeah, it was a brutal match. I mean, I'm not one for gimmick matches, but that was built up to make sense for a gimmick match, and that's what we got. We got Alex Kane's coming out here first on MLW Burning Crush. See what the Suplex Assassin has to say. Hear him out. Whoa. Way harder than he thought it would be. What? Hold on. I'd say it was appropriately violent because it built to that. That's the thing about gimmick matches with us in PPW is we build to it. We make it make sense. It has reasoning. Oh, boo my A chance deafening here coming out of the crowd. All right. And Kane, even when he wants to talk just regular shtick or whatever, like man, he's just a damn good persona for pro wrestling. I'll get to that in a minute, Barry. I want to hear how the rest of what Kane is saying here. Kane saying he let all of the people down by losing the championship match, but I disagree. There's nothing to be let down about the match. It was a quality match. Brian saying Kane is too fragile, one loss, and he shook. Oh man, I saw a few of your PPW matches on YouTube of us say you and your dad do a good job on commentary. I'll let Papa Smokes know that you just referred to him as my dad there. That's a good one, Barry. Oh, now Mr. Thomas coming out. Papa Smokes' close personal friend, Mr. Thomas. Yeah. Mr. Thomas is going to fire Alex Kane right back up. So this is what you're getting at, Brian, with Kane being fragile, where he's feeling like he's gonna leave here, and Mr. Thomas comes out and he's firing him up. God, I wish they'd let Mr. Thomas talk more and wrestle more. Like he is good. He is quality himself. Like, damn. Yes, the guy who never fights, and when he does loses, is the guy I want pep talk from. You can say what you want, though. I mean, listen to the oomph and what Mr. Thomas is saying here and stuff like that. I mean, he's good on a mic, man. He's a big old boy, and he can wrestle. He's a good dude. I liked having Mr. Thomas on the show here with Pop Smokes and I. Ooh, Boom is forever now. Couldn't do for life. That's already taken. Oh, now we're cutting to some sort of video. What is this? Oh no, not Flop Dollar. Of course, this is what Court would put the money into, eh? Bringing Flop Dollar to MLW. No, nobody wants this. Like, I don't think anybody wants this at all. greatly underutilized. I figure he must have a nagging injury or something. It could very well be the case. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. He is very underutilized, but they hide it well if that's the case. I mean, he's still great as the guy on the sidekick, the guy there. Like they've kept him around all that time for a reason, obviously. I mean, with the amount of people who come and go in MLW in general, like the fact that Mr. Thomas is still there means a lot about him as a person, even too. So I really don't know about this. I have never been interested in AJ Francis's work yet. I mean, if I didn't know anything about AJ Francis at all, I might be interested based on that promo, but I've seen this guy wrestle and I really have not found anything about his work that I'm crazy about, or even the idea of him wrestling Alex Kane. And you've pretty much now proven that AJ Francis is probably going to attack Alex Kane at Intimidation Games because Kane is booked against Bobby Fish, and now they announced today that AJ Francis is coming to Intimidation Games, but he's not wrestling. So that just tells me AJ Francis is going to have a run-in during Alex Kane's matchup. They're foreshadowing what could have been a bigger surprise at that point in time. Are they saying AJ Francis is in the World Titan Federation? I don't want him there. The WTF logo was up there, so have at him, Brian. Have at him. Pull my A, pull my A, pull my A. Take that one. About 6 months ago, I said to Impact fans, thinking CM Punk or Will Ospreay was joining TNA. I can't wait for next Saturday. January when Top Dollar turns. Well, we got him over in MLW now, apparently. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. Again, I haven't liked what I've seen so far from him ever. I'll keep an open mind. But on commentary, yes, we've got I think this is so this would have been who was at the last live event, obviously, because this is where they did the taping. So of course Dombrowski still on the commentary team, and I believe who was the name that they had there? I'm just gonna rewind here for a second and get that name. Because I didn't know last time when we were live, so I want to figure out who this other commentator is. There's much of an improvement. Yeah, definitely an improvement over what they had. Christian Cole. So Christian Cole is the other commentator taking over for Matt Stryker, who's thankful we got rid of. Damn it, WTF is turning into a clown club. It had such potential. Most of the factions are a joke right now. Yeah, none of them really come across very threatening anymore. That's for damn sure. All right, so now they're just showing what happened there with Mods Krügger's return at the live event, attacking Jacob Fatu, leading to tonight. We will see Fatu going against Mods Krügger and what essentially will probably be Fatu's last MLW matchup, at least for the foreseeable future. If you have followed along with myself and Pop Smokes on Thursday night, we talked all about the current situation with Jacob Fatu and his contract. Ryan saying I like TNA, my favorite show, but the TNA are even easier to wind up than the AEW fans. Winding up wrestling fans is easy to do in general if you really want to. It's just I kind of go with the philosophy. I like what I like. I don't like what I don't like, and I'll be pretty open about it. Won't be as harsh as some people, but I will admit when I don't like something in pro wrestling. At the same time, what I like sells to other people. So is there an audience for it? Yes. I mean, you can't deny that these niche wrestling subgenres and stuff like that don't have an audience because they do have an audience. I'm just not that audience. Brian saying that he wants Cruel to destroy Fatu. I wish he would use Cruel. Like Mods Cruiser is a cool name, and I know they did that for the whole Contra thing, and changing it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense considering that's what he's been in MLW. But man, I really do kind of enjoy the name Cruel a lot. We got in this opening match. It's going to be the Wasted Youth and Nolo, Kitano, I think I said that right, versus Tony Deppen, TJ Crawford, and Griffin McCoy. They're using it as his middle name. Yeah, okay, so he's Mods Cruel Krügger. AK. Still think that he needs to do backing vocals on one of Becca's singles. So Tony Deppen and his squad in another 6-man matchup where they're probably just going to go so everybody can get their shit in a small amount of time. This is a bad matchup. Well, Bell's just wrong on my end here, so I don't even get, even if you tell me what the finish ends up being, it doesn't matter. But yeah, individually, some of these guys could be great, but this is all I ever see is these 6-man tags. It's like, no, we all get them all on screen at the same time. So here we go. Can't we just ban wrestlers from singing? No, we can't, because sometimes it's hilariously delightful. And in the case of Becca, it's hilariously delightful. Do these guys look weirdly pale? You're asking Canadian this question, Brian? I'm like from the land of weirdly pale, my friend. Superplex from the top. Frog splash from the top. Move after move after move. Who's legal? I have no idea. Because that's the way these matches tend to go. I swear this new commentator, Christian Cole, I swear I've heard that name before. Like he's worked another indie or something like that I have watched at some point in time. Like the name is strangely familiar and he's good. I like him on commentary. This is such a delightful step ahead of what they had with Stryker. Because now commentary is not dominating the actual show itself. It's not drawing the focus away from the wrestling inside the ring. And it's more the sports presentation commentary that MLW should be going for. Why is there even counting tags in this? Like they do and then they don't, and then they do and then they don't. As Barry's saying, yeah, talk about the match, not yourselves. And see, and that's the thing, Barry. Even like when Papa Smokes and I had an opportunity to sit down with Rich Bocchini and talk to him about commentary, after it was all said and done, he talked to us one-on-one, like the two of us afterwards, about our own commentary and how to, what he was taught and the things that, he says people make mistakes with. He said, don't draw attention away from what's going on. You're adding to what's going on. You're putting over what's going on inside the ring. You're trying to build a story. And too many commentators out there are so focused on mentioning every little detail of what these moves are called, all these names that most people haven't even heard of because they come from moves created out of Japan originally. And then you're not given a backstory as to why the name of the move is even called that or understand what makes it so dangerous, kind of thing. So as Bocchini would tell us, he said, tell the story. Why is this match happening? What are they trying to do? What are their objectives in getting victory here tonight? Like, Or you want to tell a story like these guys are looking to pick up a victory, get on the right track, work towards a championship. At the same time, you also want to sell the company. So if you have it during a rest hold or something of that kind of thing, something that isn't quite as interesting, that can be your opportunity to be like, and yes, we want to thank you for joining us here tonight, but we also want to check out our sponsors, or, also want you to take a moment to subscribe to the channel, hit that like, follow, subscribe button, all those wonderful things that you use to fill the void during a rest hold or something along those way. Ho, 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 look who it is. It's Basser. It's the other video bro joining up in the house saying, hey, my Bobby, how are you doing, Basser? Happy Sunday to you, my friend. Can't wait, man. 6 days away, PPW. You bet, my friend. You bet. 6 days. We'll be there. Gonna be awesome. Belts on the line. We got that big tag match, the Brotherhood versus the Short Kings. Can't wait. And so much more, of course, obviously. I really can't. I mean, this match is nothing special right now. Again, it's exactly what I expected. It's just go, 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 go. You can't tell who's legal. Everyone just keeps jumping in as they wish. You can't focus on any actual wrestling here because there is no real wrestling. It's just moves. It's moves for the sake of moves. There's no depth to it, unfortunately. Like I said, any one of these people in the ring, fine with them as wrestlers. But yeah, Deppen picks out the win. Like again, Deppen can be good. He should be used in more singles matchups. This is a guy who should be in the middleweight division, fighting for the middleweight title. I don't know what this whole point of this group is or where it's going from there. Booker T is a prime example for me. I won't say what of, let you decide. The PBW guys would clean up on these. Yeah, well, it would be nice to see some PPW people in MLW. That would be fantastic. I'd look forward to that. But yeah, Deppen and his crew have won. Nobody's happy. Nobody cares. That's how it goes. It can only get better from here, though, right? Oh, no, never mind. Now there's some sort of advertisement for the calling. I spoke too soon. Talk about having my foot in my damn mouth. If anything can be worse than something previous, it's the calling. Okay, it's a terrible commentator. Yeah, there is ones out there that aren't great. I mean, the only advantage to a former pro wrestler being that way is that, they usually understand how to work a microphone. The reason that's the WWE way. That's the thing with Booker. It's like it's the WWE way to be a character and stuff like that and draw away. They don't go for that sports like talk and stuff like that when it comes to their commentary. And it's why Michael Cole does better when he's given an opportunity like that. Like when he did the UK tournament, it sounded better because it was more presented in a sports like fashion. And that's what he is better at rather than trying to be an over the top persona and draw away from the actual professional wrestling that is going on. The calling is horrible, but the Raven babyface faction with Akira is even worse. I think we kill the whole thing. I know we've been begging. It's like, watching an animal in pain that you just know has to be taken out back and put to rest for once and for all. Anything that had any connection to the calling in terms of having been there as a former member or a current member or whatever, it needs to go away. I don't even care if it thins the roster out a whole hell of a lot more. I could do with all of them leaving, personally. The fact that they have spent money to reinvigorate it is I know. That's the thing. Like they bring Raven back to go on the side of Akira, and now that's happening so that we can then have a faction go up against the current calling that features Sami Callihan. And in the meantime, we got Rickey Shane Page parading around with a belt that has lost all meaning since he won it. And it's just not good. Oh, I hear a bro. Oh, it must be Riddle. Oh, yeah, it's Riddle. Mister, I'm going to be completely different when I go back onto the Indies. I am going to change up my persona. And then all I see is bro and sandals being kicked off and everything that makes Matt Riddle Matt Riddle. I love how it's, yeah, Matt Riddle versus question mark, question mark, question mark. So they obviously reveal it later in the show because it was brought up in our Discord chat earlier. So I do know which of the which wrestler it is that is going to be taking on Matt Riddle, but we'll say it as it's revealed on the show here tonight. Brian saying open challenge to New Japan Pro Wrestling is interesting. I like it. I do know who answers the challenge, but I will we'll get to that once the reveal happens on the card here. Four-way bout. We've got Zayda with Brett Ryan Gosselin. So Brett Ryan Gosselin, I am guessing just has worked his way into a spot with the World Titan Federation. Then Brian, I don't know if there was any explanation of it. He's just suddenly in Zayda's corner, or was there a segment? I can't remember. Still even doing their arcade bros. Yeah, 100%. There's been no change. It like don't get me wrong. I don't dislike Riddle's in ring work. The guy can work, and I mean he's a legit fighter. It's just the gimmick at this point in time. It's done, and it's so tied to what he was doing in WWE that he could have just washed it all away and gone with a way more serious way about him because he is a legitimate fighter. Try to make yourself sound more dangerous. Is another old Japanese dude. Yeah, because they don't have enough of those. Yeah, they're quite dominating the MLW show at the moment. This is like New Japan Pro Wrestling's new program all of a sudden. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of good that's coming out of the crossover, and it always has for MLW. But it's just like putting all the the best of the best of the featherweight division out there. Delmi Exo now entering. Got Tiara James in the ring already. Zayda's in the ring. Oh, it looks like Delmi and Selena going to have a stare down, a little chat. I wonder if this is leading to Selena versus Delmi in a matchup. It's very possible. That'll be at Azteca Lucha. Probably. There you go, Brian. You're going to miss out on the God Queen versus Selena Del Orenta. Delmi gets the streamers thrown for her. And then Notorious Mimi, the last competitor in this one here. So is this presumably a number one contenders matchup? I would guess. Let me just have a look here. That doesn't say. It just says featherweight four-way fight. But a victory in this, I mean, you would imagine that's going to put someone there. I know. Don't they have? There's a match coming up between Zayda and Delmi, I believe, on Intimidation Games or at the tapings there for the number one contender. Yeah, it really is. I mean, minus the champ herself, Janai Kai, that really is what we've got here. At least for ones that have been there for a while and have been sticking around. So I really do think MLW would benefit from a working partnership with someone like a TNA to maybe boost the featherweights division. Like have them work closer with TNA so that they can trade off with featherweights and knockouts between the two shows and really boost that division because what they have done is with the featherweight division lately has been great. In comparison to like how they were trying to throw anything at it when it first started to see what would stick. Since then, they're starting to do a good job of building names within the company that have been there with MLW for a while, which is and it's not just the champion and whoever they bring in to fight the champion. And Selena De La Renta is great on commentary when she does these guest spots too. Great, fantastic talker. I'm a big fan of multi-person matchups. They're like just not necessarily my thing, but this one's been all right so far. I mean, again, getting the opportunity to all of them out there individually. All these ladies have great careers ahead of them. Right, and I think Cesar versus Selena in ring fight may be coming in the future. That'd be great. I want to see Selena De La Renta kick the snot out of Cesar Duran in a match. That'd be fun. When you're gonna have a comedy match, that's the kind of comedy match I don't mind because it's comedy in the sense that I'm laughing at Cesar's pain as he's getting the absolute tar beaten out of him by Selena De La Renta. I really feel like Zayda's going to pick up the win here, and I think that she's going to end up beating Delmi XO for the number one contender uh, matchup that they're having. I believe that one's on the tapings at the next event. The tapings from the 29th here for the Intimidation Games. I believe that's when the number one contender match will be occurring. So we shall see, of course. Selena with the comment. These aren't featherweights, they're faux weights. Uh, Now we got to do some sort of setup where everybody's involved. Yeah, here we go. Tower Doom move because nobody ever does the Tower Doom move in matchups. And one of the most overdone moves in professional wrestling today. And the one and only time that people will sell that they're hurt when they're the ones delivering the actual superplex. So if a wrestler superplexes someone from the top, typically they pop up like as if it doesn't hurt them just as much as their opponent. But when you do the Tower of Doom, because you have the one person delivering said power bomb in this situation, the bump is still the same from the same exact height, but they oversell the idea that they are seriously beat up from taking that maneuver. So it's kind of a funny situation. Like it's really if you're gonna undersell being the person to give a superplex, you need to not sell so hard on taking that particular move. Because I know the thought process is to sell the bump of the power bomb, but you're essentially making the same fall, power bomb or not. There we go. That's the finish. There we go. Zayda gets the pin over Notorious Mimi. The push of Zayda continues in the MLW featherweights division. And here we go. Oh, Selena attacks Delmi. Barry saying any move that takes 30 seconds of setting up with wrestlers standing and waiting, no, don't do it. Looks, I agree. And that's my personal opinion. I know a lot do it. I'm not, I mean, do your thing, I guess, but I agree with you. If it's taking that long, you need to do something to sell it further. Like if you're going for a superplex and you're going into it, it doesn't hurt that as you get to the second rope, throw a couple more fists, throw something back at the opponent in order to make it sell the idea that they are still hurt and being in that maneuver. We got Zayda promo. We got Selena on it, cutting back at her. Selena says, doesn't matter how much money you have thrown at you, it's not going to get you wrestling skills or a shot at the featherweight title. Ryan saying, I know they think they can film those delays so it doesn't show poorly, but it does. If it doesn't play in the arena, don't think it'll play on TV. Yeah. And I mean, it's tough as commentators too to sell something in those situations too. Like if I see somebody sitting for a long period of time, I just try to sell the idea that it's like, and they're barely able to move at this point in time. They have had an absolute beatdown all throughout this match. Do they even have anything left in the tank at all? And try that way you try to build the reason why there has been no movement out of the wrestler for a while. But again, that when you miss that point as well too with the commentary, you really undersell the performance inside the ring, I find. Oh, well, Blip a Contra unit coming in. Here's Mods Krügger. Mods Krügger. Mods Cruel Krügger. I like the mask he uses now compared to the mask he used when he debuted in MLW. Not that mask was terrible, but this one is a lot more menacing. Tonight I will light the spark that will engulf the world. Nice words, my man. Nice words. There it is. The Black Anaconda will be against Jacob Fatu in the Baklei Brawl later on the show here tonight. Yeah, as they are now giving us a little bit of a commercial break, just showing some of the MLW action figures. Get the latest of people who have left MLW with the current run of MLW action figures. Coming at you. Every time someone's geared up and ready to leave, they get an action figure. So the second that the Alex Kane action figure drops, I know for sure that's the end of his run in MLW. So yeah, February 29th, we have Intimidation Games coming up. That's going to be a live watch along here on the channel during Thursday night. So Thursday night, Ring Respect Radio. Myself, Papa Smokes. I know Andre C is going to also be joining us for that particular show. So that's going to be a world of fun. Stay tuned for that. That's going to be coming up here on the 29th. Of course, as for this coming Thursday night on Ring Respect Radio, it's going to be trivia night. So WTF Do We Know About Wrestling is going to be live this Thursday night, Ring Respect Radio. So check that out. Before the next match actually kicks off here, though, I've got the calendar geared up and ready to go. This is what we got going on this week at OLE.
I'm out of control, about to blow, and I've been caught in the undertow. So toxic, but I can't get enough. You're burying me, burying me. Yeah, you're burying me, burying me. You've got me hypnotized. Push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized. I can see, I can hear, going crazy for the luck. It's got me hypnotized. You've got me hypnotized. And get you out of my hand again.
Look, I was able to play the whole calendar. We still haven't kicked off another match here on MLW's Burning Crush. They're still going through the whole card for MLW Intimidation Games. There we go. So Jake Christ making his way. This is an open weight. Oh, Rickey Shane Page versus Jay Christ, MLW Openweight Championship match. Oh, suddenly I just don't care. Oh, it's Jake Crist. Come on, man. Christ sound better. Oh, good. Yeah, I just really need to see a recap of what happened at Super Fight between Akira and Sammy Callahan. Please, more of that on my screen. Thanks. Yeah, you know this is not going to be a title switch either. Like, you just know it's not. I almost like I'm so tempted to just even skip it. How little I care. Brian agreeing horrible match. Yeah, I kind of figured. It's just like anything to do with the calling, any association to it, I just don't care, sadly. That's all fast forward. I'm with you. I'm on board, Ryan. I really don't give a shit about this match. Yeah, look at that. Oh, look, I find that there's weapons being used, all sorts of crap. All right, so I've skipped right past it. Don't care. I'm good with not watching that one. I got places to be after this today, so I'm more than happy to fast forward through a Rickey Shane Page match. There we go. Court Bauer and Cesar Duran making some sort of deal for acquisitions or something now. Cesar Duran wants to be the matchmaker of MLW again. Well, Cesar Duran saying that he be the matchmaker of Azteca Lucha, the show that Brian's no longer going to be able to go to live. And Court's talking global expansion, made a promise that Mystico will be there. So I guess Mystico officially going to be at that program. Damn it. Bauer shakes hands with MSL and then has to use sanitizer. Gonna have some pink drink now. Mystico versus Rocky Romero. I'm thinking that one's gonna be good. I'm hoping that one's gonna be good. So Matthew Justice versus Tom Lawlor is coming up. Brian, I gotta ask, Tom Lawlor, I like him a whole lot, but how do you feel about his run this time in MLW? Like, I almost feel like it's undersold how good he was previously or how good he is in general and stuff. Like, I mean, this we're talking a guy who was top. Like, even when he lost the belt, he was still a top guy that at any time you thought could have been there in that title picture. But since his loss to Alex Kane, it almost seems like Tom Lawler's just there to fill matches. The second gear crew backstage, and they're talking to COZYMAX. COZYMAX, the new great tag team of MLW. We'll see. It's been weak. They give the spread guy the title, but give him a secondary role. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yep. Oh, we got more blips of Contra. That's been the most interesting part of this backstage thing. Especially since we know he can really fight. Yep. Oh, MSL just got a piece of bread shoved in his mouth by the bread man, by the champ. Okay. Holliday yelling out he didn't even toast is really good. That was funny. He didn't even toast it. I like that one. If you're gonna give me Goofy, at least have some sort of line like that that I get a good chuckle at. No Mance this show. Yeah, I noticed that too. Oh well. Oh darn. I mean, really, to be honest with you, like Mance, it was his work was really starting to grind on me, to be honest. Oh, here we go. Battle Riot preview here this summer. So this has got to be live on PLE on the Triller TV Plus, I'd imagine, which that's going to be fantastic to watch Battle Riot live. Legends, debuts, all that. June. Oh no. Oh no, people. It's on June 1st. I can't watch that one live. That is my wife's birthday, and I will refuse to watch that one in a live capacity when her birthday is on a Saturday. Sorry. I will do that one on June 2nd with you guys here on the channel for point of view, but I will not skip my wife's birthday for an MLW event. Brian, I like your enthusiasm here, Brian, that I have a few months to make her a fan. Yeah, no, my wife watches a lot of wrestling with me. Let me not get you wrong, but that is her day. That is her day, not Bobby's day. Much as I'd love to watch the Battle Riot live, it's that can wait till Sunday. We can watch it Sunday. You guys are welcome to watch it live and listen to me react to it on the Sunday. I'm perfectly okay with that. So I don't blame you for wanting to watch it live. Matthew Justice just hit Tom Lawlor from behind with a belt because, babyface doing a heel tactic on a heel guy is usually the way wrestling goes. So match hasn't even started. Brawling on the outside of the ring. The stink of Mance Warner lives on in the second gear crew apparently here tonight. Chop. Oh man, this really is not a whole lot going on this set of tapings. Feels like just a bunch of stuff happening so far. Nothing's really stood out yet. Few moments, that's about it. Finally, Tom Lawlor sent into the ring. Oh, and now that MSL butterbean looking bugger just holding the leg. Hey, Brian, can we make some sort of trade where we make MSL like an official American and never associate him back to the Canadian home country that he's from? What is Lawlor wearing? He needs up his game. But yeah, well, I mean, I don't know why he's got that on. I think the whole Daisy Duke look is a lot more hilarious and I think way more interesting than this. Let's be honest, with partners, we want things we like and they don't, so we can watch it in peace without halfway through a match being told about someone from work that did a thing you probably agree with. I have to pretend it's oh, very. Barry, I can tell already your wife doesn't watch my shows, does she? You can say whatever you want. I want Tom Lawlor to win this matchup, but I wish this was like a winner must go and see somebody about new ring gear match. And why is MSL on commentary? Suddenly, the commentary is drawing away from the matchup. Brian saying MSL only has the one sweatsuit so he can keep him and his funkiness on the Canadian side. We'll trade him to somewhere eventually. I saw that really slow, terrible bump that he took when Kojima slapped him. I'm thinking to myself, why don't they just call me up? They want somebody who's gonna take a slap and sell it. You wanna sell a slap, I'll sell a slap. That was the worst. Yeah, I agree, Brian. It was bad. It was real bad. But yeah, no, I mean, if I had that kind of opportunity, I would really put somebody over in that sense. I mean, I did even when Cannonball Kelly came up flailing after he had been attacked by Sheik leading to the ladder match, a couple of years back. Like I leaned into that and actually threw myself at the stairs on the side. And even the next day on stream, when I was on Sunday brunch over at Love Wrestling back then, I actually wore a neck collar. I've got a neck collar here that I used to sell the idea that I actually had taken like a serious bump and injury as a result of Cannonball Kelly not knowing where he was and flying all over the place. Not to give anything away, but LS, getting Cannonball up was truly impressive. Wasn't it though? Like, I mean, as much as I don't agree with the antics that El Assassino does inside of a squared circle sub dives, damn, does he do some pretty wild stuff, and his strength can't be underestimated at the same time too. He uh he brought it in that fight, and it's a fight. It's not a wrestling match. It's a fight between two guys who blood had boiled over big time, and they took chairs to a whole new level. They didn't just settle for the standard regular old chairs. No, there was all sorts of wild chair opportunities in that one. No chair was safe during that matchup. It was a hard one to film too, because I mean they were all over the place with that thing. But I've got a good crew there taping with me, so always works out. Brian mentioned in that the barbed wire chair was actually sticking to them. Yes, it was sticking to both competitors multiple times in the matchup. It was brutal to see up close. I mean, when that blood started coming out of Assassino's arms and when Cannonball Kelly started to bleed from the forehead and everything like that, you knew just how deadly this thing was becoming. Like, I mean, there's a reason that those two guys did not compete in our gimmick battle royal that night on the show because they were in no condition to perform again in any capacity. They were that hurt after that matchup. Bobby Stats, how are you doing? Good morning, my friend. Happy to have you here on the show. We are about halfway through the event. We're currently on the Matthew Justice Tom Lawlor match for MLW's Burning Crush at the moment. You're going to be, hold on here. Somehow the beer lady had a mustache, which is an odd match, was the weirdest thing. I'm watching MLW tonight. Okay, Bobby. We are watching and talking about it right now. So just so you know, we are going to be doing spoilers. So it's up to you if you want to stick around. But we will be mentioning who wins the matchups here as we're watching currently. There we go. 1, 2, 3. And just like that, this one is over. World Titan Federation picking up probably a much needed victory. It's been a while. Bobby's okay with that. All right, sounds good, Bobby. So yeah, Tom Lawlor getting the victory that he's probably needed to get on some sort of a roll here in MLW. There's a guy that they should. I mean, if they knew they were going to have Tom Lawlor this long, why couldn't they have had him beat Rickey Shane Page for the national openweight title and carry that thing and give it some prestige again? Excuse me, Joe Rogan. Right, mentioning that he's not exactly the best on the mic. Yeah, I mean, not perfect by any means. That's why you need somebody who is. And unfortunately, I don't think MSL's that great on the mic either. But yeah, I'm looking forward to watching Matt Riddle wrestle again in MLW. Well, that's already going to be happening on the 29th there, Bobby. So, you know, if you've seen already the news, they haven't revealed it on the show, but I have seen who it is. So Intimidation Games is stacked up. Oh, Matthew Justice now diving to the outside, taking Lawlor out. Bobby says, yeah, yeah. So who is this? So okay, so if the tag titles are on the line at Intimidation Games, so second gear crew defending against the World Titan Federation, am I to presume that Richard Holliday and Tom Lawlor are the team, or who? Bobby, maybe you know, or Brian, maybe you know which of the two are going to be fighting for the tag belts come the 29th. The fact that Gosselin is in World Titan Federation is horrible. I mean, his gimmick has a shelf life. That's my problem with it right now. Is like, I mean, I shouldn't say that. I mean, I really, if there's another big Ryan Gosling movie, I like, which let's not kid ourselves, the guy makes good movies. There's a chance that he could have more to do with his character, but that's all it really is. He's just he's a super fan of Ryan Gosling, and his name happens to be Brett Gosling, or he's Brett Ryan Gosling, so he has to look like Ryan Gosling's characters. I don't know. Again, like, yeah, but anyway, Big Bad Tito is going to be the one taking on Matt Riddle in Intimidation Games. That announcement now taking place on the screen. Hello, hey, it's Astrid. How are you doing this morning? Thank you for joining here on Point of View as we're watching along MLW's Burning Crush. And the announcement now that Big Bad Tito coming to MLW, and that's going to be against Matt Riddle on the 29th. So you're going to be able to watch that, watch along on Triller TV, but make sure that you're here on the channel joining myself, Papa Smokes, and Andre C on Ring Respect Radio. Now we're getting the advertisement for the World Titan Federation hotline. Get the scoop, call this fake number, and make sure you have your parents' permission before you call. It's only $99.99 per minute, kids. You remember those commercials from anyone remember those from back in the day? It's a WCW hotline. Talk to your favorite wrestlers today, but really you're not. Make sure you got your parents' permission before we bill you 2 minutes per minute, 5 minutes if you're outside of the country. Tired, long week ahead. Yeah, that's I'm with you there. I mean, between all the shows and stuff like that, and then next Saturday, not only waking up early for Elimination Chamber, but following it up with Pro Wrestling that night, it's going to be pretty wild. Bobby saying, I did hear that AJ Francis was on MLW. Yes, he was in a promo calling out Alex Kane, and then they announced that he's going to be at Intimidation Games. So I've never seen anything I enjoyed for the guy's work so far. I'll keep an open mind. But the fact that they announced that he's coming to Intimidation Games and then Alex Kane is in a match with Bobby Fish only puts the writing on the wall that AJ Francis is going to do a run in during that matchup. Cesar Duran now out. This is obviously going to be whoever he's acquired for the Azteca Lucha. His Azteca Lucha roster. Yes, give us your surprises, Cesar. Show us. Make this show more interesting. Come on. Bobby saying, what if Cesar Duran had the Fred Flintstone guy on his roster? Yeah, he could. He's a very interesting character, that's for sure. Thanksgiving is on Netflix. Sweet. Sweet. Probably just in the US, though, probably not in Canada. Because nobody ever can use a VPN and make that change. So we're announcing Mystic. They just announced, okay, Barbara. There you go, Bobby. You were right about that, actually. Atlantis. Don't know who Atlantis is. Oh, so that's the reveal. So, okay, yeah, the Fred Flintstone guy, Atlantis, and Mystico to Azteca Lucha. Ryan wants Black Taurus or King Huertas. Yeah, that would be fantastic, actually. But yeah, it's well, the thing is we knew Mystico was part of it for sure. That's not a surprise. So that's yeah. Oh, so Selena comes out here with a great line. Cesar pretending to be a man. Bobby saying I have mentioned in the past that I wanted to see more of the Fred Flintstone guy on MLW. All you're going to get to for sure as Azteca Lucha. Guaranteed he's going to be involved in some sort of competition there on that event for sure, Bobby. So MLW's checking out Bobby's. Yeah, they are. They're listening to you, my friend. They're listening into your ideas. So I'm presuming that like this is going to lead to Azteca Lucha versus Promociones del Dorado in the War Chamber. With War Chamber not that far away, I would presume that's the new direction anyway that they must be going. This is a long-winded segment. Obviously, I don't like watching Notorious Mimi and Tiara James wrestling in MLW. Yep, that four-way featherweight matchup was on earlier on the program here. So all right, moving forward. Oh no, what is this that we got going on now? Oh, not Love Doug. Oh, why are they doing this? A lumberjack and Jill match between Love Doug and Brett Ryan Gosselin. Oh my god. That's why. Why are we torturing me with this? It's supposed to be a nice day, damn it. Do you see Cesar Duran have a lady going after Janai Kai? Yes, 100%, Bobby. I think that is the direction is clearly Azteca Lucha building up against uh, Promociones del Dorado and Cesar going for gold. He even mentioned it in the promo about him taking all the scraps of gold from MLW. So obviously there's intention. I like Brian mentioning King Huertas would be a great return to MLW and somebody who could be right in that main title picture or national openweight title, whatever, that saved the day because this company needs a lot of saving at the moment. And I'll tell you, Brett Ryan Gosselin and Love Doug just are not those saviors by any means. Who would buy an Akira shirt? Not I, says Bobby Munson. Not I. I don't buy very many wrestling shirts, and I guarantee it would not be an Akira one if I did. If I was at a live show for MLW, it would be a Beaumaye shirt or it'd be Mods Krügger. Would have been Fatu, but Fatu is going to be moving on, so. Bobby saying Stephanie could be the one. I would be okay with that idea. That's a great addition. I think if they can get Stephanie McCur to be there and do that, then bring it on. That or bring in Viva Van. Like Viva Van would be a great addition to MLW as well too. Oh, now we have a messy lumberjack match for the sake of having a lumberjack match because these two haven't even had a proper one-on-one matchup. So we'll just throw gimmick matchups at them because one-on-one with anything these days. Bobby say bring in someone stardom. They could, yes. I'm not always as familiar with the Stardom roster, but I know that you can always find out lots about the Stardom roster every time you watch the Japanese Wrestling Update with Andre and Melball right here on the channel. I don't get why like a lumberjack matchup is supposed to be a matchup utilized to keep the competition in the ring when two fighters have not been able to settle the score inside the squared circle. So when you put a lumberjack match on between two people who have never even initially had a proper one-on-one matchup with each other, this is just dressing a match with a gimmick for the sake of it. That's all it is. And I hate when wrestling does that. It doesn't make any lick of sense. Bobby saying like is that Thekla and Utami Shishida? Yeah, I don't know either of them. I'll take your word on it, Bobby. You've pointed me in the right direction of a lot of great independent workers so far. So I'm going to trust Bobby's stats. Ryan's saying point. I was about to say the same thing. Yeah. And again, like their first match was a blindfold match. Why? Because they could call it Love is Blindfold match. That's all it was. It's just a gimmick for the sake of a gimmick. And that's what I can't stand. You build up matchups or a feud in order to get to the gimmick match. The gimmick match is to settle things that can't be settled by regular means. And when you don't build that narrative in pro wrestling, you're just doing it for the sake of popping fans. And they're not necessarily going to remember said gimmick match because the problem is you didn't give them a reason to care about said gimmick match other than it's a gimmick match. That's all you're selling to your audience is, hey, we have a no DQ match. Hey, we have a lumberjack match. Hey, we have a cage match. We don't have a reason for them, but we got them. Bobby saying that they are from Stardom. One was in Julia's group and one is in Queen Quest. Awesome. Yeah, Stardom seems to produce some good talent. I wouldn't be against that. So again, definitely take your word. Obviously, Julia is going to be bypassing all the MLWs and everything in the world. Sounds like pretty strongly that WWE could be the destination for Julia. I know that would definitely shock the world if she didn't sign with WWE at this point. All right, so this match is still happening. I still don't really know what's going on or know if I care. Don't really care for Love Doug. Don't really care for Brett Ryan. Probably like Brett Ryan Gosselin, only a slight bit better than I like Love Doug, and that's not saying a whole lot. But you know this one's set up for Brett Ryan Gosselin to win because there's the interference from Zayda. Yes, she can. Yeah, center of the ring uses the exact same move that Zayda used earlier in the night with the unpretty. There it is. Easy call of the finish. Soft matchup that didn't matter, was thrown into a gimmick for the sake of gimmick. There you have it. Meaningless dribble to fill the night. Bobby's 1-0. Yeah. He called that one, my friend. All right, we've got about 2 more matchups left, I do believe. We got the match. It's COZYMAX versus the World Titan Federation of Davey Boy Smith Jr. and Richard Holliday. So maybe that's who's going after the tag belts then. I'm assuming at Intimidation Games, it'll be Davey Boy and Richard Holliday versus the Second Gear Crew at Intimidation Games, presumably. Which only makes me believe, are they going to get the victory over COZYMAX here tonight? We'll see. And then, of course, the Baklei Brawl, Jacob Fatu, Bonds Krügger coming up. Have they announced the MLW Battle Riot? Yes, they have, Bobby. And as I was mentioning to everybody here, I will not be doing a live stream of the Battle Riot. It happens to be on Saturday, June the 1st. That is my wife's birthday. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do just like I do here with these matchups. We're going to do that one live on Point of View on Sunday, June the 2nd here. So feel free to watch it live, just like you guys always do, and then come join me and let's talk about it as I'm reacting to it on the Sunday afterwards. All right, so more of a build towards our main event, and I'm just going to skip right to the start of the match up here. So, plus there's more calling. Oh, no, what is this? Raven now adding the blue meanie into the group with him and Akira. So, more joke stuff for the sake of joke stuff. Yuck. I hope Steph Delander appears in MLW Battle Riot. I'm losing my hope that Steph Delander's got anything left with MLW at all, Bobby. We'll see. The blue meanie is a new low. It just keeps getting worse, doesn't it, Brian? Like we're holding on by a thread here when it comes to MLW these days. Davey Boy Smith Jr., Richard Holliday. Here's two guys that belong in a main event picture in terms of their ability in a ring and stuff like that. And they're in the tag division because we can't build creditable enough tag teams. Again, like both these guys, and them as a tag team doesn't bother me. It's just we need a top tier main event picture, and we don't really have it right now. They're just really like it. It's like when you're cooking spaghetti. You want to know if the spaghetti's done, and you do the old trick of throwing the spaghetti against the wall to see if it sticks or not. They're throwing wrestling at the wall and seeing what sticks at the moment here in MLW. They should bring better wrestlers like Mustafa Ali and Shelton Benjamin. You'd think that's what their FU money from WWE is, but now I'm starting to think that FU money was like what I'm starting to think it was like a $500 gift card for Best Buy or something like that, and Court's already spent it. Because my God, AJ Francis, like please, we deserve better. Nick Nemeth too. Papa Smokes. Okay, Sunday, brother. How are you doing? I bet you're happy you're not watching this MLW Burning Crush disaster. Like a burning crash. I used to have Bundy and Stud as a tag team, so if you don't do it the right way, it doesn't diminish them for singles. But I don't trust they can do it. Yeah, that's the problem. They seeing whatever they can throw together, and now they're going to bring COZYMAX because as many really old Japanese wrestlers that they can bring in, they're going to keep bringing them in at the moment. MLW is the new retirement home for New Japan Pro Wrestling. At least they have Zayda, Steel, and Delmi. So yeah, we'll put youth and talent into the featherweight division, and we will take all of your MLW or your New Japan Pro Wrestling retirees over to MLW. We'll give them a home. Oh, please don't show this horrible, horrible MSL slap and bump that he took from Kojima. This is embarrassing. 2300 must be attached to a Japanese speaking assisted living facility. Nice. Oh, I can't believe they'd have to force Dombrowski to try to sell the impact of that awful, awful bump that MSL takes after that slap. MSL's had that coming to him, but it's like a man falling in slow motion and then slowly rolling backwards afterwards. I'm rooting for Davey Boy Smith Jr. and Richard Holliday. I think I am too, to be honest, Bobby. I respect Kojima too, but just this whole I don't mind having these crossovers and stuff, but all it is lately is all of the borderline retired to semi-retired New Japan Pro Wrestling male wrestlers that are over here and taking the top spots in MLW while we severely need to work on rebuilding the roster and getting some more regulars within these divisions. And saying, put your brand new champ in his first appearance at a tag team match. Great work. I agree. Like, this is where they should have had this guy and Murder Grandpa or something like that in there, kind of thing. They could have been the tag team said. Bad dude Tito is from New Jersey. Yeah, he sure is, Bobby. And again, another one of the older male wrestlers on the roster. Again, not saying they're not capable or that they weren't amazing, especially in their primes. Most of these guys, but really, we're talking about a company that is dangerously in need of some new rising stars, which is something MLW has always been about, is producing those rising stars. And instead, we're going backwards at the moment. That's how it feels. I want it to go well. I want to root for them. I want them to do better. I thought that the settlement with WWE would be enough to work towards the direction that we needed to see good things start to happen, and I've yet to really see had good things happen. See, again, and here's a match you could be having one-on-one, and Kojima and Davey Boy Smith Jr. Davey Boy Smith Jr. was supposed to get an MLW World Heavyweight Championship match against Alex Kane in one of Kane's first offenses, but then he got injured. And he comes back to, I want gold. Tag team gold will work just fine. Why? Why do you not have a talent like this that's, at a prime age, but could be in that title picture that you promised to initially have in that title picture, now settling for going up against, the senior citizens club here in MLW? And again, if are you, the only way out of this safely in any way would be to have Holliday and David Boy Smith pin Okumura. Because again, if you have them pin Kojima, you're underselling your champion. But if you have Kojima and Okumura win, you're underselling just how good Davey Boy Smith and Richard Holliday are to your company right now. Brian, yeah, maybe that's the gimmick. Hey, one guy is over costume, one guy is under costume. COZYMAX. One's cozy and one's dressed to the max. COZYMAX. Like, for as long as some of the segments and stuff have lasted on these tapings, with how much is actually left in the video here, it really paints a picture of how little goes on in the main event, how quickly it ends. My understanding, so what I heard on Friday during the Japanese wrestling update, Andre was mentioning that Kojima might have become injured during these tapings. Yet it's still listed for, working double duty here on the 29th. So interested to see if they're keeping him protected for now, and it'll be good to go. But again, you take the belt off Kane and put it on Kojima, and already you're risking injury with him. That's the only bad part of these being taped. You do get an idea of the main event every time. Yeah, it really does, because here I am going and looking to see how much is left. I look at it, I'm like, wow, there isn't a lot left in this video. We still have a main event to have introductions and all the jazz that comes along with entering into it. And this match isn't over. That's the other catch to this whole thing. There's under 20 minutes left in the entire event. I do know what happens at the conclusion of the main event. That I am very, very much aware of how it ends, and we'll talk about that here shortly. Oh, and Holliday is going to eat the loss here. Holliday eats the loss to the champion. I don't get this. I don't understand these booking decisions. Like, again, no disrespect to Kojima, but was it necessary to put him in an aging tag team to now march over two guys that could easily be in your title picture? Now you've undersold Holliday to the point where Holliday's return doesn't mean much. Him losing Alex Kane was one thing because Alex Kane was on that role as the champion, but this is your follow-up to it. This is what you have left for Richard Holliday. I don't think that gives us a whole lot. Does Cruel put Fatu face in in Sparky Box, Fatu's face in the Sparky Box. Sorry. One of those days already. I can't tell you, Brian. But it's coming up. It's coming up. Coming up next, with like 18 minutes left, and we still have an advertisement. Doesn't matter. I'm going to bypass this little advertisement garbage. I don't need that. Let's go straight to the match. So an hour 37 into the actual event, and Mods Krügger is now making his way to the ring. Baklei Brawl, so it's just going to be more fighting, more weapons, more things. Love these two guys, though. All the belts are going to move to old Japanese guys, and then MLW is going to rebrand as Old Japan Pro Wrestling. Oh, man, it's seemingly the direction at the moment there. At this point, they might as well just wipe away all the male competition and have a featherweights division only. The only interesting part of the show, even today. Although Fatu and Mods Krügger, again, like both these guys, but right away are fighting to the brawl to the outside, which we already had earlier in the night when Lawlor got attacked by Matthew Justice. So, yeah, Cruel is a beast. I agree, Brian. I like his work. But this is the exact same way that the Matthew Justice and Tom Lawlor fight started. So this is my problem again with pro wrestling is if you're going to do a start like that, you do it once. You don't do it in two different matches. You don't have a need to do it in two matches. There wasn't a need for Matthew Justice to attack Tom Lawlor by hitting him with the belt before the match started. And now that takes away from this one where it makes sense why Fatu would come out here and do that. I would have loved to have seen a Kane and Cruel match. Yeah, Cruel is and Kane was a good big guy wrestler, obviously. I mean, had a very, very prominent career. But Mods Krügger is that rare blend of like big guy that isn't boring, is interesting. He's not just a big guy where it's like, okay, he's big, so that's his only selling feature. I like his work, his in-ring work when he actually gets it. But they're still playing Fatu's damn theme music for like the last 3 minutes while they fight on the outside of the ring. I have MLW wrestlers on my roster. I do too. If you go check out Mark Talks Wrestling over on YouTube, I am the GM of Major League Wrestling over there. So we're doing universe mode where I have MLW, Lord and Goodnight as AEW, and Mark as WWE. We put on 2 shows for each program per week that are played through the WWE 2K universe mode over there. So you get to see promo segments from each of us as GMs, as well as Mark doing commentary while the game plays out. So you can check out what I've put together there for an MLW roster and the matches that I've put together as well too. Keep it in mind is that the roster pretty much exists from the WWE 2K game, so a lot of the roster are WWE wrestlers, other than a few from the created community work. But Mark does a fantastic job putting it all together. There's a lot of just slow movement towards getting weapons in place here on this one. This is definitely not the best either one of these guys ever done. Bobby saying Zayda Steel was the first pick for his women's division. Excellent pick, my friend. Excellent pick. Yeah, this is just slow so far. It starts off fast with something that didn't matter because they had already done it once on the program earlier, and now just slow to get into any of this. Oh, he's saying she is on my WWE 2K23 game. She is my champion. Awesome. Was that did you create her yourself in the game, Bobby, or was that from the created community? Someone already had a Zayda Steel created in there. Brian saying, "What's the chair budget in PVW? I imagine the chairs do get legitimately broken." Um, it's a good thing we have sponsors and a lot of beer sales. Let's say that much, Brian, because chairs do get broken. We've had ladders broken, tables broken. We all always do it. Meeting. We always do it with purpose. But yes, the budget for stuff like that is high, but we don't encourage it happening in every matchup because we don't need to make that budget even more expensive. Obviously, saying Richard Holliday was his first men's pick. Richard Holliday, a very great talent that they seemingly have just essentially, in my opinion, buried enough that he's not in any picture now. Again, the World Tag Federation is supposed to have a tag team title match at Intimidation Games, and you have COZYMAX beat Holliday and Davey Boy Smith. Why? If the idea is for World Tag Federation, wouldn't you want to build a strong tag team going into the event to at least sell the illusion that that might be the ones to walk away as the new tag team champions? But no, let's have the Senior Citizens Club beat them here on Burning Crush. So 10 minutes left on the video in total here as tables are broken, chairs are thrown, carnage is had. Bobby saying Zayda Steel beats Anna Jay to win the first ever women's championship on his game there. Krügger did that choke slam just now that sent Fatu over into a 360 spin. Ryan saying, well, Justice lost tonight too, so the tag team belts could be a garbage championship like the Openweight belt has become. Yeah, the middleweight championship has a hell of a lot more prestige these days. Rocky Romero has been a great champion for the middleweight division. But yeah, everything else has become nothing more than pandering to the Philly and hardcore crowds of professional wrestling lately. Bobby saying it's a mid card title for the women's division. Yeah, I'm assuming that over back on your game there, Bobby, with that. So, well, Fatu with a couple of super kicks on Krügger. Man, Fatu's strength hits the alley oos on Mods Krügger. Like, that's a big man to be hitting shit like that on. Bobby saying Tom Lawlor was his first ever champion. Fatu's just all of a sudden woken up, and there's actually some form of a wrestling match that's broken out in the middle of this brawl. Bobby say he's picking Mods Krügger, but respects Fatu's work. I think we all are painfully aware this is Jacob Fatu's last MLW matchup. So they are calling him, yeah, all throughout the broadcast here, like was said earlier in the show here today. It is Mods Cruel Krügger that they are referring to him as. So they are playing along with the cruel name as well too. I don't mind that they're leaning into that. That works for me. Ryan said Rocky is the only solid champion right now. Even Janai Kai was made to look weak by the superhero bike girl. Yeah, I didn't like that they did that to Janai. It took away a little bit of the mystique of just how badass she is. You shouldn't undersell your badass champions like that ever. Ever. Yeah, there you go. Clap hands with the crowd, Fatu. It's going to be the last time you ever do that in close proximity, especially at an MLW show, my friend. I still believe in Janai Kai, though, Brian. Despite what they made her look like, I'm going to try to erase that match from memory and pretend like it never happened so that I can still believe in Janai Kai because I like Janai Kai. I think they just did her dirty by putting her in that stupid matchup. And I have a feeling she's not been in the business long enough to really politically pull some strings and say, I'm not doing that. That's my fear. Fatu hits the moonsault, but Mods Krügger, I'm imagining, is going to get back up before Fatu can even get to him. Ryan said, I do too. She is tough. I'm not sold that Fatu is going to end up in the WWE, though. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm sold on the fact that he's no longer in MLW because his contract's up anyway. I mean, I'm not saying if he stays independent, they can't still book him, but yeah. I'll be mentioning on his game. She beats Blair Davenport in the first ever Women's World Championship. Thing is, though, Brian, like it just all roads seem to lead to WWE for Fatu at the moment, even with including his name on the WWE kickoff panel there, where Roman Reigns was talking about his family bloodline and Jacob Fatu's name clearly up there. Oh well, Mods Krügger just pulled a good fireball spot. I'll give him that one. I don't like when people pull the fireball spot and don't make it look good. Krügger made that look excellent. That was a well executed fireball. And that's it. 1, 2, 3. Bobby, yeah, I knew you were talking about Cora Jade there because you were mentioning that in your game, and Tom Lawler's voting with Shelton Benjamin on your game there too. That's a solid match. Benjamin and Tom Lawler. That's a good lineup right there. But Mods Krügger picking up the victory here after hitting that fireball on Mods Cruel Krügger. Or no, Mods Cruel Krügger, sorry, hitting the fireball on Jacob Fatu, getting that back to front. No, I haven't been dipping into the sauce here on Sunday just yet, even if it is a long weekend. What's Krügger pointing to? The masked mercenary, the black hand of Contra. Well, here comes the Sentai Death Squad. I'm aware of what happens here, so I'll try not to oversell it or undersell it, guy. But yeah, Mods Cruel Krügger is a big threat, Bobby. You got that right, my friend. Yeah, it's Contra unit led by Mods Cruel Krügger puts Jacob Fatu in the body bag, and Mods Cruel Krügger stands tall at the end of the program. That is it for MLW's Burning Crush here today. That is the show. Brian mentioning you could see Fatu unzip the bag a little after Cruel closed it. Yeah, unfortunately, that was a little too close to the camera on that one. But yeah, that was it. It was a show. It happened. Nothing really that stands out, in my opinion, in terms of good. If that was Fatu's last match, then ouch. Sadly, but yeah, we'll see where he lands now that he's a free agent, free from the MLW tyranny, as it is. But yeah, that's just about all we got for you here today. Yeah, we're gonna wrap up this Sunday. So everybody can get on with their nice long weekend if they're enjoying one. Not Kings of Coliseum bad, but not good either. Yeah, it's kind of Kings of Coliseum was bad. This was just flat. It's nothing special, nothing interesting, just it was there. Anyway, as you saw the ticker down below, before that was everything OLE. You can also check myself out, Bobby Munson. That is my ticker down below. Make sure you tune in to Prairie Pro Wrestling over on the YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. We have the chairs match between El Assassino and Cannibal Kelly now available for you. And of course, next Saturday was it's going to be PPW Love is Dead live in Saskatoon. So if you happen to be in the Saskatoon, Saskatchewan area, come and check out PPW Live is Dead. Tickets are the hottest tickets in town and are really selling out. Astrid, thank you. Enjoy your day, Bobby. Enjoy your day as well, too, Astrid. Thank you for stopping by the show. Bobby, MLW Super Fight was great. I liked Super Fight. Super Fight was good. Looking forward to watching MLW's Battle Riot. Yeah, it'll be a Battle Riot. Should be good. But yes, thank you, everybody, for tuning in today, joining the show, and getting your comments in. You're going to be able to check out a lot of great shows throughout the entire week. This Thursday, join myself, Papa Smokes, for the WTF Do We Know About Wrestling Trivia Night on Ring Respect Radio. And then again, back here next Sunday with all of you for another point of view. And of course, Saturday, myself and Ed Fries are also going to be bringing you the post show to WWE's Elimination Chamber because it is in Australia. It'll be nice and early in the morning time. So make sure you're watching and waiting, following Elimination Chamber. If you're up that early, join myself and Ed for a little bit of breakfast and post-show extravaganza here on the channel. It's been fun hanging out with you this Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you real soon.